how are we doing today? I hope that you're all well, enjoying a bit of rain. We sure need some rain. I still haven't seen any, or that the weather is treating you well. Now, I'm here to invite you to come and join me for a little time together so that we can craft something for our fairy journal, which is almost coming to an end, I might add, because it's getting quite full and I don't want to make it too chunky, but I have plans, so I'll share that with you. Okay, so I have created a little project to go onto this page right here. It's a version of something I've often done in my journals, but this one has a little tweak to it, so I'm quite excited about that. And again, it's a quick and easy, simple little project that anyone can make and use in any journal theme whatsoever. So let's have a look at it. Here it is. All right, we have a little pocket over here and a pocket at the back, which is what I normally do. So I've just put in here some of those bits and pieces from the kit, which are all already bowed and buttoned and sewn and whatever for you already. So that makes it really easy and keeps it lovely and flat, which is the purpose of this particular fairy journal. Then I did something a bit different and I made a pocket with the same piece of paper in the back there, look. All right, so it doesn't go into what we're doing there. As you can see, it's a separate pocket, and I've used one of these journaling cards, just stuck a little butterfly on the top as a little tab piece, so that's just going to stick out a little bit over the top so the butterfly can peek over. All right, so normally I would put something in on that side to make a pocket there, and so we've got a pocket there. I normally do it there. I'm doing it this side this time, and I've got a pocket at the top. So we've got three lovely big size pockets, and with this lovely postcard we are going to tuck that in on that side over there. All right, if you were going to use it on this side of the page, then you could tuck it in that side, but I'm using it like this. So it's like variation really, with an extra pocket on this piece. And how lovely is that? And it's so nice and flat. So that's what I've tried to do with all these fairy journal projects. All right, so really easy to make, and everything is really in this kit for you to use just as I've used here. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to grab the other signature, which is this one, and with this one we have got this first page, similar background to that one, very similar, and what I have done here is used a different piece of paper. So where with that one I've used the peachier shade, this one I'm going to use is the pinker one. All right, if you can see the difference there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So that's where it's going to go, and I'll just move it out the way for the moment and talk about this piece of paper. Now, this is just a sheet of paper. You can use whichever sheet size you would normally use in your journal. It's all relative to the size of the page you're sticking it on. And I just cut off a piece with my measurements. Okay, so I'm going to give you the variant for a US size and an A4. Let's start with what I did, which is this A4. Now I've measured, I think it was 7 inches, and that works for any US or A4 size. Yes, 7 inches. 7 inches in centimeters is 18 centimeters in width. All right, and then I had a strip left off. Yours will be slightly wider if it's a US sheet, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so that's what we've got. The length will remain as is. Mine is 11.75 inches or 29.7 centimeters. If you've bought a printed kit from me, that is what you're working with. However, if you are printing on the US size sheet paper, that's fine. You're still going to cut it at the 7 inches, and we're going to just change these last two measurements slightly. Okay, so I've written them here. Right, actually it should be this way. Right, so from the right hand side I measured 1/4 of an inch and I've scored. All right, scored a line. I've done that already. Then from that score line, I measured 2 3/4 of an inch. All right, so we both want to do that. US letter size or A4, we're doing exactly the same. In metric terms, that's 7.3 centimeters, guys, and this edge here is 0.7 centimeters. All right. Now, the only difference comes into the next two, well, there's only one measurement really. But what I would suggest is, I scored at 4 1/4 inches. It's 10.8 centimeters. But what I would suggest is measure off your 1/2 inch. This is for the US ladies. All right. Then your 2 3/4 inches. All right, so you've got that. All right, and then what remains, I would take this and fold this pretty much all the way over. All right, that's what I would suggest there. With me, it's looks like that, so I'm about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge there, just so that you've got a little bit of a gap here. It's really only 3/4 of an inch divided by 2, so you're looking at 1/3 of an inch difference here. That's all you're going to have, but you can move it slightly away here, slightly more away. I would move yours away, US letter size ladies, 1/2 inch away. Mine is slightly less, okay, because as long as the card is going to fit into the back there, you can see we've got a little space. All right, you just need to be able to glue that bit down, and that's the only distance. So put in the card when you're measuring it to see how far away you need to be. All right, for A4 ladies, that was 4 1/4 inches or 10.8 and 10.8 centimeters. Okay, so this is really the only panel that's going to be different. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let's go to our first little fold that we made, the 1/4 inch here, or half, was it 1/2 an inch? What did I tell you? 1/4 of an inch, sorry. Okay, that's just to reinforce that edge. That's what that is. Okay, then we're going to have that little bit like this. I am going to get out my little Distress Oxide bitty there, because once that's stuck down we won't be able to do much. Then I've got this other bit, as I say, need to just check the measurement of my card is going to fit in there, right? And that's going to fold over like this. Now I'm not going to ink that because you're not going to see it, that's going to go on top of it, but what I will do is ink underneath that flap and this one. And while we're at it, we can just do this, and you can do it as light as dark or not at all, as you prefer. Right, so this is the base of that particular one. All right, now if you didn't have the lace that comes in the pack and you're using a different kit, so I'm going to be using this green, you could actually use the strips you cut off to decorate where I'm going to put the lace, alternate it. So this is from the other one, and use the other one on that. So if you don't have lace and it's a different theme, just using up those little bits. All right, so it's going to turn this way. You can have it any which way you want, really, guys. I mean, you can have it this way as well. Shall we do one this way? It doesn't really matter. All right, but whatever you decides, because one of these sides needs to be open. So we'll go with this one at the top there. Somebody, I think the postman was here and the dogs got set off. Right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to run some glue along the very edge of the flap that's going inside, just the top. All right, my hand is here because this is the side I don't want glue. All right, and then again on the bottom of that flap, so just those number 7 there. It's my son Ross's birthday today, and I cannot believe it's his crown birthday. I can't believe that he's 27 today. Can't believe it. You know, as mums, I don't know if you do this, but I have visions of my kids in my head when I think about them. And although he's a grown adult man, and I'm very proud of him in every way, I still see him as this 2-year-old or 18-month-old with 6 teeth and a bowl haircut on his head. You know, and he's like a little toddler. I don't know why that is stuck with me. I mean, it's not his best look, but it's the look I have in my head. And I actually have a picture of him looking just like that, smiling with 4 teeth at the top and 2 at the bottom. And I constantly, that's what I think of when I think of him. So we all have, and Paige, I've got 2 pigtails, and she's sitting on a little stool for a photograph in her little top and little skirt, and she's probably 2 as well. I think she's got about 8 teeth. The things that stay in our minds, honestly. Right, so here's the lace. I'm going to use this green one with the green flowers in the middle, and I've already inked it and everything. With this one, I used the pink scrolled lace here. All right, with the 3 little bits popping up, and you could cut it into bits if you so wished. Right, so I want to place it pretty much in the center here. Let's that's our top. So while I'm thinking, sorry, I'm back to the gluing. I just want to glue this tab down and this tab down here. All right, now this would make a great mass make, because you can just do this stage and put them all in a little container for when you need to use them and decorate them accordingly. All right, so there's our one pocket. There's one going to be there, and there's one there. Nice 3 large pockets. So we'll use it this way. The other one I did do that way, and it makes no difference, but then the opening needs to be at this side. All right, so just ascertain that at the start. I'm just doing different options here. Right, so now we will put glue on the lace. So I just want to get this pretty much in the middle, like that. No, I'm just eyeballing it, which is the best way to do it, isn't it? Okay, so my opening's at the top. I keep checking because I want to make sure. So you've got your pocket like that. Now we've got our lace in the middle. Really simple. Now, just the 2 little bits. That's the 2 girls on the swing. And this little bit at the top where flowers bloom, so does hope. That little one, all ready to go and clustered for you. How amazing. With this one, I've got the little girl, because we've brought green in here. I've got green and pink. So this fairy feeding the squirrel. So that will go on there. Okay. A little bit higher. And then believe in the magic within you. I love that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to put over there, and this one I'm going to put like that. And so you just have to stick it down. So the decorating for this kit is so easy, because I've done all the hard work for you. So you can add your little bits and do whatever you want and make it your own. But if you're a beginner, and you feel intimidated to start a journal, then this one is for you, definitely. And then a bit here, and then you can add whatever you want to this. If you've got little scraps of fabric or other lace bits or whatever it is that you want to add to it, you can do it. But I've done a lot of the stuff here because especially if you want to make this for your Christmas gift stalls or craft shows or grandchildren, this one will make it easier for you as well, especially as a little writing journal, because I think this is going to be amazing for the writing journal side of things. I will be putting, I don't know if this is the one, I think it's this one. Let me just grab one of these other, because I've got 2 of these on the go here. There we go. So those sort of bits, which I absolutely love, enables it to be a beautiful place to write with. So I'll have a lot of that sort of a thing going on for the rest of that journal. Right, back to it. Here we are. So we have got our little fairy having a tea party with a squirrel, just adorable. And pretty much that's everything that you need to do for this. Take your journal card. I backed mine, and I have stitched around this. It's not a must, as you know. It's just my style preference, but it's going to be fine with just the backing and a good glue. Sorry, I'm just trying to cut that off. So I have just stuck on a cream butterfly there, and that is going to go into the back here. All right, so that will fit into the back there and just peek out a little bit, about 1/2 inch. Okay, then we are going to put this amazing little card into the back here like that, and then we will put these bits in. So I've got the pink version of this in the other one, Find Beauty in the Simple Things. That is an amazing thought, and I live that. This little one as well, that's got an edge like a postage stamp. And then I've got these two. One's got a green bow, one's got some hessian string and a little tag. So I'm just going to alternate it with the pink and the green like that. There we go. All right, so that's how that one's going to look, and this is how this one's going to look. Well, it's going to be this side actually. And how pretty is that? Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you for spending some time with me. I love creating these things and sharing them with you, and I really appreciate all your comments. Now, lastly, and not least, I will be restocking my Melodies of Nature Ultimate Bundle in the shop by the end of this week. All right, I will put a post up to let you know in the Facebook group and probably various bits. So have a look for that. If you were on my waiting list, I will notify you first. If you're wanting to be on my wait list, then please email me at angelakerr2468@gmail.com. It is in the bottom of the description box, my email details, and let me know. Otherwise, I will put them into the shop later in the week. All right, everybody. Don't forget, if you do order something from the shop that needs to be posted, it's crucial that you fill in your telephone number. Not for me, but it's a requirement, especially for the US Customs. All right. If I don't have that, I have to look for old orders of yours or whatever, and it can delay your parcel when it gets to the US. So that's why I have a note on my website now that says please check your details are correct for your address and that you add your telephone number. Okay, love you all. Thank you for spending time with me. I will see you again on Friday for another little episode, and I'm probably going to be finishing this off in that one, or making plans to with you. All right, see you all very soon. Bye bye.